Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Captain Frost and today I want to talk to you about Diablo 4 and Path of Exile, or Path of Exile 2, and how Diablo 4 is a positive force for Path of Exile development, for Path of Exile popularity and everything else. So, if you see Diablo 4, you should be glad that it is out now and that we have all the things that are happening in that game in the present day. So, why do I think that it will be a good thing? First, of course, it's a competition, which means that both products, and especially Path of Exile, will try to strive to even better results, to even better product, which is just inherently very good, as no monopoly, even if it's by the very, very good company as Grinding Gear Games, no monopoly is healthy for any product. And second, why do I really think that Diablo being out now with an advance before Path of Exile is a very good thing for PoE2 as well? I don't really think that Path of Exile 2 will change too much of its design, will change too much of its feature based on what works and what doesn't in Diablo 4, but it's still a valuable experience and it is still a valuable data chunk about different systems that probably Path of Exile wouldn't have implemented anyways in their games, that are present in Diablo 4 and that Grinding Gear Games can make some assumptions out of. They can extrapolate that data. Even though it's not an open one, you still can understand how players react to certain types in for this ARPG in Diablo. And then you can make decisions, you can make conclusions based on that data. Where if you were to think about implementing something similar, if you were thinking about how this or that approach will result on the game. So yeah, I definitely think that Diablo 4 will be very, very good for Path of Exile, and it brings more people's eyes towards ARPG scene, and it's essentially it's kind of free marketing for Path of Exile, because whenever season 1 of Diablo 4 starts, it's the date when ExileCon will go, and I definitely think that with all the problems that Diablo 4 has, especially with its end game, with its longevity, many people will turn the eye towards other ARPGs in the genre, especially if they look quality-wise pretty similar, especially in graphics, in sound design, in combat design. And Path of Exile 2 definitely looks on par with Diablo 4. Many of those eyes will be on Path of Exile 2 as well, because it's a release of a completely new game that will probably, if you were to compare it with Path of Exile 2, it will be decluttered with some systems, it will be polished with some other ones, and that means that it will most likely be at least a little bit more casual friendly. And I don't mean it in the bad way, I don't mean it in the bad way. I just mean it that many systems that were quite convoluted, just like gear with sockets, now sockets will be on gems, and it will be way easier process of getting good gear and replacing the gear throughout the campaign, throughout your levels. You don't need to bother about sockets on your gear, you need to bother about sockets on your gems. And even this system alone makes the game way more friendly towards anyone, not only casual players, not only new players, towards anyone. And I know for sure that there will be a lot of features like that in the game. And I think that they will create a way more interesting early game as well. Even from the footage that we've saw from both recent trailers from Gamescom type events, the footage of the gameplay, even on lower levels, at least as it seemed with the characters that were present in those trailers, gameplay was way more interesting. Gameplay was it wasn't as slow. So Path of Exile it's an interesting case in that way. Gameplay on lower levels is very slow and it feels clunky. Gameplay on higher levels is very fast and it feels like you're just lightning and you're going through the pack to pack in half of a second. And this thing is not very healthy for the game as well. And I'm not against any fast stuff in the game. I'm against very tedious and slow and definitely outdated gameplay on the early levels of campaign that will 100% turn many people off from the game, even if you can say that it's quite a classic experience of Path of Exile, because in the earliest days, all Path of Exile was way more similar to early levels rather than being similar to what we have in endgame currently. But yeah, still, I think that Diablo 4 is a good for Path of Exile, and especially with how the game isn't perfect. I don't really think that it will be that it will by any means take any of Path of Exile's audience towards itself for a long enough period of time. It may cause some temporary reductions in player numbers, but afterwards it will only be to the growth of Path of Exile in the end, because Path of Exile will have robust, good high quality systems that are not led by quite greedy and monetization oriented company. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good time. Goodbye.